Great news as a second stimulus check is likely to get approved in just a couple of weeks. But when will it be coming to you? How much? And when will the decision be finally made? Hey everybody, this is LALATE with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today with really bombshell, great, exciting news. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. This one's about the second stimulus check, especially for SSI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. And there's breaking news minutes ago that is just so exciting. I'm so excited to give it to you. Nancy Pelosi gave a statement moments ago that a second stimulus check will be approved, and she will order members of Congress to stay in session until they get it done. Forget that Tahitian vacation in August. They're going to be ordered to stay there. Let's get right to the news. This channel has been detailing over the last couple of days a few things. First, as the second stimulus check. First, we have confirmation about two things. One, that a second stimulus check is coming. Two, the date it's coming. Let me go over those two items of confirmation. First, we know that a second stimulus check is coming. And it's also going to be coming to people who are on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. We know that because the three forces that be have all said that. The Republicans, the White House, and the Democrats. The second one is the big one that I have an update about today. The date that the second stimulus check would be approved. This channel has been reporting that the date would be around August 8th, and we detailed that about a week and a half ago. And we said, you know why it's August 8th? Because that's the last day that members are in session before they take another vacation. If you're not aware, they're currently on a vacation right now. They come back in late July. They have just a few days to get the second stimulus check and the second stimulus package, which involves a lot of other things like hazard pay and rent assistance, approved. And then they're scheduled to go on vacation again on August 8th. Yeah, they take more vacations than airlines. It's just crazy. So Nancy Pelosi, I don't know if she's watching this channel or listening to your comments, but she came out today and said, enough with the vacations. You all need to get this plan approved. And if you don't get it approved, we are not going back on vacation. Wow. This is great news. So let me read you the comment. She said, Nancy Pelosi was asked by CNN minutes ago whether or not Congress would go back onto recess, which is basically about August 9th, if they had not yet finalized the second stimulus check and stimulus package. She said they will not. When asked whether she would cancel the August recess, which is another word to say vacation, she said we absolutely have to. We absolutely have to cancel the August vacation. We have to come to an agreement, she says, as the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. I mean, this is great news. We already knew that a second stimulus check is coming to you. We already knew that it's going to get approved. And I had said that it's going to get approved around August 8th, but Nancy Pelosi is now really putting down the hammer and saying, hey, it has to get approved by August 8th. And if you think you're not going to get it approved by August 8th, you are not going on vacation. So really quite interesting. What is also really interesting is the backdrop of today's news articles. The news articles basically were written by CNBC, the financial news channel, and it pulled Democrats and Republicans and everyone involved about it. And they all said, yeah, well, there's going to be a second stimulus check. There is going to be a second stimulus package, and it's going to get approved in July or August. Now the consensus is, hey, if you have a problem with the 7th or the 8th or the 9th, we're going to stay there until you get it done, which means, they're going to stay in session until they get all the parts of the package finalized. As this channel has detailed, I'll make it very clear to you because I know it sometimes could be confusing. The second stimulus package involves more than just the check. There's the check, and I'll go over that amount and who would get it in a second. But what some of the viewers have asked, it's a great question, is if you get the check, can you also get additional parts of the second stimulus package on top of that? The answer is yes. The second stimulus check itself, the check itself, does not conflict with anything else in the second stimulus package. So if you qualify for FPUC, that's $600 from the federal government, you qualify for hazard pay, that $10,000, or you qualify for rent assistance, which I hope you do, free rent money. These are all different videos we do every single day. You can get that in addition to the second stimulus check. The way all the proposals written says that they do not conflict with one another. Second, a lot of people have been asking, and we had in yesterday's video, I want to mention here in case you missed yesterday's video, if you are behind on child support or behind on federal taxes or state taxes, the proposals for the second stimulus check do not allow that second stimulus check to be taken from you if you're behind on child support, federal taxes, or state taxes. This is great news. The first stimulus check could. The first stimulus check, they could take it. The second, they won't. Let's get to the amounts of the second stimulus check. The amounts of the second stimulus check, and I've got this question a lot overnight, so let me clarify this for you as well. When they're sending the second stimulus check, they look at whether or not you are an individual or you are a household. So I had a very nice woman online in one of the comments yesterday say, I live at home with my daughter. Would she get her check and I get my check, or would it come together? Answer, no, it would come together as one check to you. Her daughter, I think she said, is 18 in college. And so the way the second stimulus check program is written, which is really great news, the dependents, which is the daughter, gets the same amount of second stimulus check as the mother. This is really great news because on the first stimulus package, the children did not get the same amount of check. And I'll get to that in a second. So under the second stimulus package, the daughter who's 18 in college or 19 in college, she gets $2,000 under one proposal, and the mother also gets $2,000. The only difference is because she's listed on the mother's tax return, it all comes as one check to the mother, $4,000. So if you are a mother or a husband or a parent watching this video and you file joint tax returns for your family, all the checks you would only get one check for all the money. One thing I need to make clear, because I don't think I made it clear a few days ago, I corrected it yesterday, but let me say it again. One of the proposals calls for $10,000 per household. That's not $10,000 per person. And so it says 5 people per household could get $2,000 checks, but it would all come to one person in the household for a $10,000 check. An example is a father, and he has a wife and 3 kids. The check would come to him, $10,000, if he filed the joint tax return on behalf of the entire family. So that's really great news. Let me get to the check amounts. So the check amounts, they're all over the place. There was one proposal of a single, and I'm going to go very slowly because I know sometimes this is a little confusing. There's one proposal for a single $1,200 check per person. Remember, I'm saying per person. There's a second proposal of a single check per person that is more than $1,200 and is likely around $2,000. There's a third proposal that sends $2,000 to each individual every month for 6 months or until the pandemic improves or unemployment rates go down. What is universal, and in a way confirmed at this point, across all the plans, the same thing is across all the plans, so this thing is also confirmed, is one, if you are an adult dependent on someone else's tax return, you will get a second stimulus check. All 3 proposals say that. All the proposals say that. So an example is a grandmother who's on her daughter's tax return and lives with her daughter and her daughter's children. The grandmother will get a second stimulus check. Under the first stimulus check, she was not entitled to one. I'll explain that again. If you are an adult dependent on someone else's tax return, you're in your 80s and you're on your daughter's tax return, under the first stimulus package, you are not entitled to a stimulus check. All three or more proposals for the second stimulus check say the adult dependents will get a second stimulus check. This is great news. The second thing that's also confirmed is that the dependents under the second stimulus package will get the same amount of check as the other people. And remember, I said you'll get a joint check, but I'm breaking it down one person at a time. What I'm referring to is that in the first stimulus package, if you were a husband and wife and had a 13-year-old daughter, and the reason I'm saying 13 was because at that time they put the rule up to 17 years of age, and you had a 13-year-old daughter, the 13-year-old daughter did not get a $1,200 payment from the government, whether it's sent to the parents or not. She got a watered-down amount. I can't remember. I think it was like $500. Not the case in the second stimulus package. I mean, this is great news. The 13-year-old daughter in the second stimulus check package gets the same amount of money as the parent gets. So remember when I said $10,000 a few minutes ago, let's give you an example. Husband and wife with 3 kids who are in high school, they would get a single check if they're to whoever files the tax return, either the husband or wife, of $10,000. Husband, wife, 3 kids in high school. We also know the following. This is also confirmed. Let's say all 3 kids are in college, and this is very important because they're over 18. Same thing, $10,000. Husband, wife, 3 kids in college. That's different for the second stimulus check than the first stimulus check. Remember what I just said a second ago. The first stimulus check didn't pay kids that were of college age or older, which is horrible. I mean, it was literally like, you could just turn 18 and suddenly, bam, you don't get a first stimulus check. It was an awful rule. It was an awful, awful rule. Next, we also have confirmation about the following. Husband, wife, grandmother, and grandfather that live with them as dependents. How much would they get? There would be it would be a quadruple check, 4 times the amount sent to the parent. That is the reason why the second stimulus package is so good. Adult dependents, and adult dependent means someone that's over 18 years of age, can go all the way up to, someone's 150 years old, God bless them. They will get a full stimulus check, but it'll be sent to the person who is the primary on the tax return. Let me explain who gets the stimulus check, because I got a couple questions about that last night. And again, this is about the second stimulus check. So let me clarify this as well. And it's so important to understand this. If you are an individual and everything about you is individualized, you file a tax return individually or you don't file a tax return, you're not dependent on someone else's tax return, you don't have a payee, you're on Social Security, you're on railroad benefits, you're on SSI or SSDI, you're an individual. The great news about the second stimulus package is the check would come right to you. Very simple. This is the most uncomplicated, the simplistic, easiest way to do it. Very, very great news. Now, if you have a representative payee for purposes of SSDI and SSI and other benefits, the representative payee gets your check. Pretty easy. Third scenario is if you are a dependent on someone else's tax return and you're on these benefits. This one's a little strange. It generally looks like it would go to the person who files the tax return for you, but there are situations in which it could come to you directly as well. We'll know a little bit more about that. That's one of those things that's not confirmed because there's sort of like conflicting ways about the routing. Ultimately, I'm trying to keep you informed about everything that's on the table. Lastly, the most important one to earmark is if you are this following scenario. If you are newly on benefits for SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits just this year, if you just started the benefits this year and you never filed a 2018 or 2019 tax return, please stay with me come late July, because you're the person that the IRS said for the first stimulus package they had to do something else. That something else was to file what's called a non-filer document. For the first stimulus package, people who just went on to the benefits this year but had never filed a 2018 2019 tax return, IRS said you had to do one more step. We don't know if that's still the case come late July. I'm not telling you to do anything now. There's nothing for you to do now. But the great news today is just, it just brings a smile to my face. I hope it brings a smile to your face as well. First, we know that you're going to get a second stimulus check. We know that because all 3 bodies have now said you're getting a second stimulus check. Second, we know now that the second stimulus check will get approved in July or August. And if it doesn't get approved by August 7th or 8th, which is the date that this channel has been reporting, well, members of Congress are likely, and of course it's not been ordered. You know, I always have those haters that come in the comments and say, it hasn't been signed yet. Okay, Nancy Pelosi hasn't signed the order yet. She can't order Republicans to do it. I know what you're going to say, hater. But Nancy Pelosi's now saying, hey, we are not going on vacation come August 8th if we need a few more days to get this done. So that is great information that we now know the second stimulus package is going to get approved. Last, we also generally know, and it's now confirmed, when you would get a second stimulus check, when you would actually get it. We know that because of the routing times for the first stimulus check. We simply know that because of how the IRS operates. We know that because the IRS said for the first stimulus check, it would be routed at worst. This is the slowest way. I'm doing the worst case scenario. By paper check, if you receive your SSDI, SSIs by paper check, or Social Security. By direct deposit, if that's the way you receive it, or by debit card, if that's the way you receive your payments. The great news is that we now know, based upon Nancy Pelosi's remarks, that the earliest you would see the payment be received, if it's approved, if the bill is approved around early week of August, is late August. The latest would probably be around late September, and I'm saying that's really late out there. I'm just saying really, really late, but I think middle September for my paper check people, for my people who get things by paper check. That might be the latest. Ultimately, there has been talk among all three forces to get everything sent by direct deposit, which would be the fastest. That's great news. Everything would come by direct deposit. But anyway, coming up later today, we are going to have more exciting news because these comments by Nancy Pelosi, another comment by your favorite Mitch McConnell, and that other favorite of yours, Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, now suggests new evidence as to everything else in this stimulus package is likely to get approved. We have really great stuff. And we also have something really fascinating. I've never done it before. A video about medical insurance that you might qualify for if you were newly laid off. So I'm here to help you about everything. Thanks for tuning in. Be safe, be positive, smile, and thank you for the very nice comments overnight. They're just wonderful. As always, stay for LA for more.